Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
Jerry.
Linda and Gizmo.
We're the Village's Newcomers, and it's time for...
Send us your questions, we've got your answers. Jerry and Linda's Mailbag Monday.
We have a good show for you today. Well, let's start it off with a quiz. Everybody get your paper and pencils. You got them? Here they are. 5 choices, A, B, C, D, and E. Look at this. I am injured. I have a severely sprained wrist. Happened about 3 days ago. Feeling much better now. But how did I get that sprain? A, was it an over-the-top dance move with Scooter down at Brownwood? Oh, I'm sorry.
He's dangerous with that on.
B, did a wrench slip when I was changing the spark plug on my golf cart? C, did it occur when I swung a golf club at Bonifay Country Club? D, did it happen when I was using my donut cutter to spin back and forth to cut the grass from around our donut holes? Sprinkler heads. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or E, was I riding in the golf cart and like an idiot put my hand out and hit a sign post? Those are the choices, A, B, C, D, E. Let us know what you think. Stay tuned till the end for the answer. Now let's get to those shout outs. We encountered a bunch of viewers this week.
We really did.
We were at Brownwood watching the Hooligans the other night, and we had a ball meeting you guys. Thanks for speaking up and waving to us or coming over and talk to us. We talked to at least, I counted over 20 people that spoke to us there, and that was fun.
And I even had fun swimming with one of our viewers down at one of the pools down near Marsh Bend. So
Right.
That was Mary. Enjoyed our day with Mary.
And we met Ed and Leslie when we were out.
We love your show.
Oh, thank you. Look at that little doggy. Look at it. Boo-boo.
Where are you guys from?
Bradford, from Nashville, Tennessee originally.
Okay,
We're in Bradford over now.
excellent.
We came last September.
Great. We love Nashville. We used to live 3 hours north of that.
Oh, yeah, because I knew you was close.
Yeah.
I don't have to.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you're so pretty.
Thank you. Oh, you're talking to her.
Thank you.
And Gizmo had a submission of one of his friends that sings along with him on the TV. So thanks to you all that send those in. Remember now, if you have a Jerry and Linda t-shirt, send us a picture and we'll get that on Mailbag Monday. On a sad note, our amenity fee went up this year to $168.66. That's up from $160 last year, so it's up 5.4%. The year before, when we first moved in, it was $159. So the first year we were here, it went up $1. Okay, no problem, no big deal. But this year it went up $8.63. You know, in the grand scheme of things, probably not too much, but everything's going up. Have you shopped in the grocery store?
Even my hair place went up.
Yeah, everything's going up except our income. You know, a lot of us retirees are on a fixed income and things are jumping. So just wanted to keep you informed that our amenity fee went up. Maybe not everybody's. All we know is about our own. So it's a good chance amenity fees jumped up here. Still at $168.66. It's not that bad compared to a lot of other people that we hear. But again, remember, if you're wondering, we don't get garbage included. We don't get sewer included. We don't have water included. We don't have any utilities included. We have no landscaping included, no outdoor maintenance included. Only thing included in our amenity fees are things like access to the pools, the recreation centers, you know, the things that we can do publicly, for recreation and entertainment and the common areas and things like that. So just thought you guys would like to know that. Our first question is from Neil. Neil and Angela. Sorry, Angela. Homes with golf course views have a premium price attached. Are they worth it? It's always going to be a matter of opinion. A golf course view seems amazing, but is it a novelty that wears off? The people we know that live on the golf courses like living there. They like the view. They like the privacy. But is it worth it? Like I said, that's very subjective. So I did a little research for you. I looked at about 20 properties that are listed for sale in the Villages. I did like a diving judge in the Olympics. I threw out the highest and I threw out the lowest. So I took the 13 middle properties that were for sale to let you know what they cost here. A golf course view here, according to the properties that I looked at, and I did not select any, I just took the first ones in line, averaged $725,000.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty hefty. These are mostly designer homes. There may have been a few premier homes in there, but $725,000. She's noticed homes go quick.
They do. They last, 1 to 2, 3 days. They're on the market not very long.
We tell people it's a seller's market big time here, but if you want a golf course view, you're going to have to pony up some money.
By the way, if y'all watch Gizmo behind us here, he's nudging me. He's wanting a treat. I gave him a little one, and now he is wanting more. Watch his nose every once in a while. He'll grab my arm and pull it up. He speaks.
Tony writes, when I hit 55 years old, if my wife and I are 55 but have kids, can the kids live with us in the Villages? Very common question. One of the very top questions we get
it asked a lot.
are about age limits in the Villages, Tony. Here's another one. Gregory writes, perhaps you'd want to cover that 30-year-olds can buy and live here. 20% of all 55 communities can be under 55. Just can't be 18 or under. Okay. That's always open to interpretation. We know people here that are under 55.
Yes.
We know people here that are under 30, but they're not many. Not many people under 30. The rule says that 20% of the people here can be under 55, but they live in a home with a resident that is 55 or older. And that is correct. They cannot be under 19 years old. We don't have any way to tell what the current allotment is, if they're at 19%, or if they're at the 20% is full. But we do know that each one is gauged on a case-by-case basis, and it has to logically fit. They're not going to sell a home to a 35-year-old person, I don't believe. You'd always have to check with the Villages for that. But if you're in your mid-40s and you say you want to buy a home as an investment and you want to move here when you're 55 and they talk to you and they interview you and that looks to be the case, I think you could buy a home in your 40s. But I don't think you could buy one in your 30s. But you never know. The decision wouldn't be ours. It would be up to the Villages, taken on a case-by-case scenario.
This is from Adrian. Would I be allowed to put up a bird pole with bird feeders in my backyard? Well, I called that and had to call down to the Community Standards Committee, the group, and they said you can put up a pole with bird feeders, absolutely, but it has to be, you have to get permission from the ARC, which is the Architectural Review Committee, and then they will allow you to do that. But she also said you could put your bird feeders in a tree, and you don't have to get the pole and get permission. So, and also I asked, well, what about bird baths? And she said, yep, you have to get permission to put a bird bath in your yard. Interesting.
Yeah, Because bird baths, some of them look like lawn ornaments.
Yeah, right.
That was for you, Adrian! Gary must be a night owl because he says he hears that the village is closed down at 9 p.m. and the streets are deserted. Really? Does everything close at 9 p.m., he said? Gary, that's a good question. And for some, it's a real selling point of the villages that it is quiet in the evenings here. Mister, here you go.
Hungry.
Here you go.
Well, he wants his afternoon
Yeah.
snack. Well, I did a little bit of Googling on that. I started calling places around the villages our favorite places, our favorite restaurants, and quite a few close 8:30 and 9. Most of them close at 9. There are a few that stay open to 10, and those are Chop House, Cody's, Bluefin, Pisano's, and City Fire. But the one that stays open the latest is World of Beer, and they stay open till 12. Trying to sell that liquor, I guess. But, and I also decided to call on some other places where you can have fun, like maybe a bowling alley. So I called and looked about those, and they close at 9, one of them does, and one of them closes at midnight. So the Fiesta Bowl closed at midnight. So that's about all I know about entertainment past 10.
Yeah, it's a plus for me that the roads are quiet, the businesses are quiet. But that World of Beer you mentioned, we were in there the other day for the $5 Monday burger. Yeah. They have burgers for $5.95 on Mondays with some friends. And remember our friend got that sampler of beer? It had all these different kinds of beers.
Right.
You know, that looks kind of ridiculous when you have 5 beers sitting in front of you, but he enjoyed that. And they're open till midnight.
Yeah, they are.
And probably a crowded place after 9 then, huh? Chet writes, are palm trees easy to maintain? And going right along with that question, from Sarge. Sarge is a longtime viewer. We appreciate you, Sarge. He says, we're going to put a palm tree in our front yard. Can you let us know, number one, what is the best palm tree for the front yard? I'll answer that one first. Any palm tree you want. There are some that look better than others. As we look out the back here, really good looking palm tree is the Sylvester palm. But they have their downsides. I'm going to show you in just a minute on a video. The queen palm is another one that...
That's your last tree.
The queen palm is a good looking palm. It gets tall. We have a queen palm in our front yard. We're looking at one right here in the back. They have their downside too. So we're going to show you those. But there are lots of palms. Our 2 biggest ones on each side of our house in front are called Washingtonias. And they get big. You know, if you watched Hawaii Five-0 or some of these shows, these are these tall, classic palm trees with the giant trunk and the greenery at the top. Remember, I'm wondering how those are going to look in about 10 or 15 years. But, of course, by then I'll forget I even have a palm tree, probably. But, yeah. And number 2, Sarge wants to know, do I need permission to plant the palm tree? That's a yes, Sarge. You got to have permission. I verified that with the ARC I called. And you have to call them just to make sure that you're not planting it too close to the road or an intersection or won't cut the view off from somebody else. Yeah, you need to get permission, but it's generally granted, and I don't think that'll be a problem for you. Now, Sarge, let's talk about whether you really want that palm tree or not. Take a look. Palm trees. We love the palm trees, but they do come with an element of maintenance. That's a queen palm right there. Believe it or not, 3.5 years ago, that tree was brought here in the back of a pickup truck and planted by the fellow that we bought this house from. Queen palms develop these seed pods. You can see one right there. You might have seen one in an earlier video that we posted. Those eventually will grow out and burst open, and these acorns or nuts of the queen palm will fall over everything. Our queen palm out front has been trimmed 3 or 4 times this year to eliminate these pods. Linda's holding one of those seed pods.
I think it weighs about 75 pounds.
It probably weighs about 50 pounds, maybe a little more. You can see it. I had to primitively take this out of the tree because I didn't want to climb a ladder. You know, senior citizens shouldn't be climbing ladders.
My God,
But there it is.
oh,
And this tree right here, we've taken 4 of those out this season. So keep that in mind. If you think you want palm trees, there's an element of maintenance for sure. This is a Washingtonia. It's a tall growing tree, and as you can see, it's planted right at the corner of our home. So when we bought the home, the entire trunk looked like that. And we had to hire a company to come and they trim it nice and clean like this. It gives it a really nice look. But as you can see, those will need to be cut back eventually. And as these branches die, they need to be sawed off. So there is some maintenance involved. This is one of our favorite types of palm trees. It's called a Robolini. It usually has multiple trunks. This one has 5. And I mentioned that they're hard to care for because they have these vicious spikes. Look at these spikes, can you see them? Those are really sharp, and to reach in here and trim that tree, you're going to get poked. And when one of these goes under your fingernail, it's a bad situation. This tree is not in our yard, but you can see that there's a seed pod that has opened. You can see all these little nuts, as some people call them, just ready to fall and litter your yard. Definitely a maintenance issue to think of. Palm trees are beautiful. They say Florida. They scream Florida. We love them. But they have a set of headaches all their own. Are they worth it? We think they are, but to you, may not be. There's a lot of maintenance cost involved with owning a palm tree. And by a lot, I don't mean an extravagant amount. I mean, a few $100s every year or so to take care of your palm trees. Mm-hmm. Time for our last question of the day.
this is from Herb. I raise pigeons. Could I have a pigeon coop in the backyard?
I told you a few weeks ago. We get some doozies. And Herb, is your name Herb or is it Herb?
It's not herb.
Is it herb?
No, herb is what you cook with. It's herb.
Herb, let me say this. I don't think you can have a pigeon coop in your backyard because you can't have a shed back there. You can't have an outbuilding of any kind. And pigeons, although I always say the pigeons are underrated. They're beautiful. Have you looked at pigeons up close? Those are beautiful birds.
Hey, we have a picture of pigeons.
Oh, that's right. We have one. I'll see if I can find that and put it on here for you. Herb, you cannot put a pigeon coop in your backyard here. Maybe you could cut a hole in your roof so they could come and go into your attic. I don't know about that either. But Herb, we don't want pigeons sitting on everybody's house around here and decorating them. No. It's time to answer the quiz. You all had the 5 choices. How did I injure my arm? What'd you come up with? Well, the true answer would be item number C. I injured it playing golf over at Bonifay Country Club. Very, very inconsistent. I swing hard, I hit the ground, hurt my arm.
Oh.
Bad deal is we're having a big neighborhood tournament day after tomorrow.
No.
And I don't think I can play.
Oh.
I know I can't play.
I don't think so.
Some of you have been waiting for the next segment. I know this guy has. I'd like to say he's been waiting patiently, but he has not been patient today. He's been whining and complaining, but Let's see what he has to say.
Arlene asked a really good question. She said that she sees mostly little dogs around the villages, and she's partial to big dogs. She said she really likes golden retrievers and other dogs that are 50 pounds or more. Arlene, you don't have to worry. There's lots of big dogs here. We've seen an Irish wolfhound. There's 2 Great Danes just around the corner. We've seen pit bulls and all kinds of big dogs. But I will give you one word of warning, Arlene. When you walk your dog, you gotta pick up after it. So you're gonna have to get some of the king-size bags. Hey, do you know what the difference is between a hippo and a zippo? Well, a hippo is really heavy, and a zippo is a little lighter. Ha ha! Get it? Little lighter?
A Zippo is a little lighter, huh? Funny guy. Coming up on Thursday, we have a show some of you will be really interested in. It's a topic of conversation among our neighbors here. When you come to Florida, do you need to change your will? Do you need a trust? We didn't know. We hoped not. We thought not. But we had searched out a professional, and we'll talk to them on Thursday, and you can find out legalities of your existing will when you move here and whether you need to update. That's going to do it for
Mailbag Monday.
As always, we really appreciate you guys coming along with us today. Thanks so much.
And if you liked our show, please press that like and subscribe button. Until next time.
See you when you get here.